Hey guys, it's Daphne here. Welcome to part 2 of our beginner series. In part 1, we talked about frames, how to create a file, and how to add text, shapes, and images. So if you haven't seen that yet, go watch that because I won't be repeating the steps in this video. Today we'll be talking about components, variants, and auto layout. These are really important things you must know when you're using Figma because they are really useful for your workflow. Alright, so let's jump into it. This is the screen that we will be building today. Let's start with recreating some of the elements using components. Components are basically your master asset to help maintain consistency throughout all your instances. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense to you now, but it should by the end of this video, so just bear with me. Here I've already prepared some assets, but you can either create them on Figma yourself or drop them in from your computer. For the sake of this tutorial, I already have them here. So let's start with this heart-shaped icon. I want my components to have a very standard size, so I will start by creating a frame for them first. And for this, I'll go with 24. So I'll just copy and paste my heart into this frame. Make sure that everything is centered. Remove your fill and rename this to icon. Now to make it the component, up top you'll see a icon here with a 4 diamond shape. So click that and you'll see that your frame has changed into this purple color outline. So that's when you know that it has become a component. Now that you have your icon, let's create the heart button here. So same thing, let's start with a frame. So now that you have your frame, select the icon component here, copy and paste it into this frame and then make sure it's centered. Then you can rename this to maybe icon button and create this into a component as well. So now you have 2 components done. So now that you have your heart icon inside the icon button, what happens is that you'll see in your layers, the icon here actually changes into a single diamond. So what this means is that this icon within this button is now an instance of your component. So what happens is, if you change the color of your component, your instance should reflect that as well. So let's say we change this to pink, and now it's pink. So this is the relationship between components and its instance. Go back to your sample and you'll see that there is a different state of this button here. Assuming this is your default, then this is your selected. So how do you create this without creating a third component? This is where variants come in. Inside the icon button component, right-click and go to main component and select add variant. You'll see now that the entire component has this purple dotted line. This is how you know that you've created a variant. Rename this second variant to maybe selected and stylize it. There you go, you have created your second variant. So as a beginner, you might be wondering, what's the difference between a component and a variant, and when should I actually use it? You can look at it as the component being like a t-shirt shape, and all of its colors are its variants. So if you want to print a basic t-shirt in white, blue, green, yellow, all the colors are its variants, and the shape of the t-shirt is its component. And when should you actually use this? Components are most useful when you have many repetition of a single icon, for example, or a button. If you have 100 different screens and in each of these different screens you have a like button, imagine if you want to change the color of this button. Instead of going to change it individually, you can just change it once with the component. Okay, so now that we've understood the idea behind components and variants, I'll show you how it actually works. So I already have a card prepared here. Let's just drag this down, copy this icon into the card, and we'll just move this over here. So why do we actually create the variant instead of making it into a separate component? Click into your icon button layer, and on the right panel, there's a drop down here that says default. Click that and you can shuffle between your default and your selected state. This means that if you have a lot of different cards, you can just select the drop down instead of pasting it individually. Now that we have the entire concept out of the way, it's time to move to auto layout. Let's go back to our sample here and recreate this card. You can start by using auto layout on this text layer. So same thing, let's create our text. Okay, so you have your text here. Now select both layers and go to auto layout on your right panel, click plus, and you can adjust the spacing between these two texts. Now you can drop this into your card and you have your first card done. So you've created your card now. Let's try and put this into our screen. Start by creating a frame first. Make sure that it's end to end in your screen size and drop your card into this frame. Adjust it if it's not fitting. Now the cool thing is you can auto layout your cards endlessly in this frame. Select the layer, duplicate it, select both, click auto layout, ensure that it's on the horizontal layout, and you can adjust the spacing here. And you can replicate this as many as you want. On the sample, there is a bit of a left padding. You can select the entire frame here, go to auto layout, and go to your horizontal padding and add maybe 20 in this case. And automatically, it'll create a padding here. Let's start with the second part of this screen. So these are, let's assume they are your tabs. In part 1, we talked about this in depth, so I will not be going through this here. Now that you have your tab, make it into a component, go to auto layout, press plus. So now you can adjust the horizontal and the vertical padding as far apart as you want or as tight as you want. So I will just keep this at 24/12. Click your button tag and you'll see this little icon here under your text section. Click into that to create a text property. So what this does is when you create an instance of your component, you can rename your text immediately without actually having to select the text again. So now let's put that into our screen. Same thing, let's create a frame that stretches end to end. We will bring this in and duplicate. Select both of your layer here and auto layout it one more time and select this wrap tool. So this wrap is really cool because it saves you a ton of time and I'll show you why. So same thing, just adjust your distance here, duplicate this as many as you want. To wrap it, go to your layer here and squeeze this in. Now everything that has exceeded the frame will get wrapped in. Okay, so we're almost to the end of this tutorial. We just have one last list to go. So looking at our sample here, we have this checkmark icon and some vertical text here. If you notice, this checkmark icon and the heart icon, they are kind of similar, right? Just that obviously it's a different icon. But there's a trick where you can use this without actually creating another component. So I'll show you this very quick tip. So remember we created an icon component, right? So inside this icon component, create your variant, select your checkmark icon and make sure that you are inside the vector layer. And you can just paste to replace it. Inside your icon button, double click into the heart itself and you'll see that there's a drop down here for a variant. And now you can change and swap between heart shape and a check mark whenever this component exists. So let's create the text layer. Okay, so now that you have your text done, let's add your icon in. So just copy and paste your icon next to the text. Select both of them and create an auto layout of it. Now you'll see automatically you can actually adjust where the icon sits, whether you want it to sit on top or in the center or even at the bottom. Now you'll see also in our sample that there's quite a bit of padding around this entire area. There's also a border here. We can create that all within this auto layout. Click the list frame in your vertical and horizontal padding, just give it maybe 20 each and you'll create this nice equal spacing around your entire card. And to create your border, go to stroke, select any color you want and click this button here and select bottom only. Okay, want it a bit lighter. Again, don't forget your frame, then paste your list inside the frame, center it And then you can duplicate this, select both of your layers, auto layout, and automatically now you have your list done. To just make sure that all your sections have an equal distance, just do a final auto layout on all of it. Select all, go to auto layout, and you can adjust the distance here. And that's it for part 2. Just to recap, we have learned components, variants, and auto layout. If you found this tutorial helpful or if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments below and we'll be here to answer that. In part 3, we'll be talking about basic prototyping. If you want to learn how to animate your design or how to create a working prototype, you wouldn't want to miss this. So subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!